What we have here are some larder cabinets from a kitchen, and I'm going to show you how to prep cabinets to paint, and I'm going to show you how to make sure that you don't have any problems with adhesion. So the first thing you want to do is give them a good clean. We're going to take them apart and we're going to clean them up. So let's get started. What we're cleaning with is a degreaser. Always get a very good degreaser when you're doing kitchen cabinets, because they've obviously had been exposed to some grease in the past, so you want to take that off. What I prefer to do is to take the doors off. I've already taken the hinges off of these, and I put very large ones like this in the bathtub or the shower and spray them down with a degreaser. Give them a good scrub in there, rinse them down with the shower wand, and then they're done. These are oak. If you have MDF, please do not do that. They will ruin if you do that. So you want to scrub them down with just a sponge and a good degreaser, and try to not get them terribly wet. I just spray everything down with a degreaser first. Let that degreaser start doing the work. I do that even including the sides of the cabinets. Now, if your cabinets were still attached to the wall, you do the same process. Just being cautious to, not to get on any painted walls. And then just start scrubbing. Just start scrubbing them down. You want to scrub them down really well. Heavy duty scrubber. Remember, you're going to paint them, so if you put some scratches in them, all the better. It gives something for the paint you're going to apply to adhere to. Now, after you get done cleaning everything with the degreaser, what you want to do then is get your bucket of clean water and go back and start wiping it all down, getting all of that degreaser off, because the degreaser will get the grease off, but your paint will not stick if you still have residue of that on. Wipe it all down, and then get another clean bucket and wipe it down once more. Now, if you've got oak, chances are this will happen, and don't flip out about it. Some of the tannins will come out as well. The brown, there's a lot of tannins that are coming out as well. That's okay. Once they dry, they'll be fine. If you've got like little corners like this is where your little brush is going to come in, because you want to be sure to scrub those corners real well. If there's dirt and gunk up in those corners, when you go to put paint on them, you're spraying over the dirt. What's going to happen is once the dirt dislodges, your paint's going to dislodge, and you're going to have missing paint, and then that will create a knock-on effect. So be sure you give all the corners attention. If you've got flat panels, it's not as bad, but anywhere that you think might have hiding dirt, that's where you want to be sure that you clean really well, and then scrub them down. Just give them a good hard scrub. Now what we'll do is we'll set these aside and let them dry overnight, and then come back tomorrow, give them a sand, and start priming and painting. Now that everything is cleaned and dried, what we're going to do is sand down. And I've got my sander, and we're just going to do a scuff sand on this piece. When everything's been wiped down and all of the sanding dust is gone, and I am going to roll them. What I'm using is a Zinsser product, and it is 123 primer. I have mine tinted gray when I buy it because I do a lot of dark colors. And if your primer is already tinted, then you don't have to go as many shades in. Be sure that you stir it just like you would anything else before you start painting. And I've got a cabinet roller. I buy mine at Lowe's. It comes in a package like this. It's got the roller frame and the roller covers that come all in a package. They're 4-inch. They're for cabinet doors and more, is what they say. It gives a nice smooth finish. And I absolutely, these are the Wiz Flock rollers, but they do have a Wiz Velour roller that I really can't tell the difference in the finish. But either way, I suggest these. I'm not sponsored by them. It's not an ad. It's just that's what I use. I do not have any company that sponsors me. So everything that you see me use is because I absolutely like the product and I use it on a daily basis. As with any other paint, primer will self-level, so you know, don't worry when you've got like little bubbles or something like that, because they'll work their way out. Gonna do nice thin coats, come back, and we will do another coat if needed. Okay, now that you got your pieces all primed up, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go through, give it a light sand, just to take off any dust or any burrs or anything like that. And I've just got a sanding sponge, a well-used. This one is 100 grit, but you know, as long as it's soft enough to just take off any dust particles, that's great. We're just gonna go through, give it sand, make sure it's nice and smooth after. This is about using your hands and making sure that it feels smooth. I'm using a color called Peppercorn Gray, and it's a very neutral gray because no matter what the soft furnishings or carpets or anything are in the room, it won't go gray and it won't go blue and it won't go pink. So for that reason, I absolutely love this color. You can see that with using these rollers, it's beautifully smooth. Absolutely smooth. So don't be afraid that if you don't have a sprayer that you cannot do your kitchen cabinets, because you absolutely can with these rollers. As far as paint and which ones to use, big debate on that one. I have used a lot of different ones. I will share some of them with you. I've used this one from Home Depot. Notice stain repellent. I've used this one from Lowe's, and it is a kitchen cabinet and furniture. And I have also used the Clark Kensington, and again, ultimate durability and stain resistant. To be honest, I really don't think that it comes down to the paint. I think it comes down to the prep. Now our first coat of paint is dry. We can look at it and see, yeah, we've got some light spots. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through, we're going to sand again. You want to sand in between every layer that you apply. Just a light hand. You don't want to, you're not removing finish, you're just making sure everything is nice and smooth. And we're just going to repeat the same process. We're going to go through, we're going to wipe off any dust, and then do another coat. Okay, let's get that next coat on, the last coat. I think 2 coats will do it on this. It's looking pretty good. we're going to go ahead and start on the doors. And I'm going to do them basically the same way. I've washed them down just like I showed you. And now I'm going to sand everything, make sure there's nothing shiny, make sure everything's nice and smooth, and then we will paint them as well. Now the flat parts, I'll probably bring out the sander and do the flat parts and the back, which is flat. But for these, I'm going to have to hand sand them. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put some primer on them. So that's what I'm going to be putting on, and I will show you how I go about that with a spray gun. Now we're going to put on some nice thin coats, and I'm going to get the top edge all the way around. And then tomorrow I'll flip them over and I'll do the other side. I always like to do the backs first. That way when I flip them over, if anything should happen, at least it's on the inside and it's easier to fix than something that is a problem on the outside. Now that we've got the first coat of paint on this, let's give it a little bit of a sand just to take out any dust or nibs or anything like that. And then we'll do our second coat and we'll be good to go. If we look at the finish here, you can see that it's good, but it's not perfect. So that second coat is definitely needed, but that's okay. I like to do thin coats and do as many as necessary. This is only going to take 2 and it will be perfect. After you're done giving it that little sand to take off dust particles, be sure that you tack rag it down so that you don't leave any dust particles on it. So here we are, and this is all finished. Got the second coat done. Did a light sand down with just a paper bag really after that. And this looks fantastic. It's now installed in my laundry room and will give me lots more storage in here. So if you enjoyed the video, please remember, hit that like and subscribe button, and we will see you on the next video.